fast it goes along. There we go. We are recording and Daniel is in. Okay, good deal. But yeah, I've sold solar for many years with some of the biggest solar companies in the United States, not to name any names, no conflict of interest. But I was president's club for every company I sold for. I sold 20 to 30 deals a month. So I was really slinging a lot of solar. I'm really passionate about this stuff, and I attribute a lot of that to wanting to help people. And that's kind of what brought me to this role. I simply wanted to do just this. I wanted to train reps. I wanted to help reps out. That's what I love to do. I saw myself transitioning into that. As a solar rep, I started training new hires and I just fell in love with it. So just know, as you reach out to someone, as you reach out to me, you're speaking to someone who knows how great those wins feel, but also I know how tough those losses feel. And I want nothing more than to help you guys get those deals to the finish line. All right. I only have two goals in this role, and it is to make you happy and make your customers happy. Right? So just know that and keep that in mind as I take you through this training tonight. And as you reach out to me in the future, you're talking to someone who has literally been in your shoes and knows what it takes. I'm super passionate about this stuff, and I do tend to talk a little bit fast. So I apologize in advance. If I go over a section too fast, don't freak out. Make a mental note if you don't mind. We do have an open FAQ section at the end, so just save it for that part. Raise your hand, say, hey, Jorden, can we cover that again? I'd be happy to take you through it. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this deck and get going here. So let's talk about Mosaic as a company. 100% clean energy for all. That's our vision. It's pretty straightforward, right? From the leadership all the way across the company, this is something we live and breathe. We want to empower those who want clean energy to have access to it. And we think the best way to do that is to provide a simpler, more affordable, and cleaner alternative to their utility bill. Sound familiar, right? Exactly. We all have that same common goal and same drive and same mission, right? We share that with you, okay? Mosaic comes from very, very humble beginnings, as Anthony was mentioning. We actually started as a community solar provider built by a bunch of small investments, some of which were as small as $25. But as Anthony kind of let the cat out of the bag and alluded to it, we had one investment that was significant in so many ways. It was larger than all of the rest, and you'll see why it kind of stands out. It was by none other than Prince himself. In our office in Oakland, we have a huge mural. This is actually the exact mural. We have a huge mural of Prince right in the front. We just think it is so stinking cool. I bring it up in every presentation because I think it is one of the coolest things in the game right now. It is so stinking cool. But the rest of this, the rest of the presentation may not be as exciting as Prince. I apologize, but I promise I will try and make it as interesting as possible. Okay. Homeowner benefits, simplicity. Let's start with simplicity. Here at Mosaic, we know if we don't make the loan process as easy as possible for your homeowners, it's unlikely you're going to do much business, or much less get referral and reoccurring business. That's how I got most of my deals. I know how important that is. Time is money, and having a simple process will allow your customers to have a better experience overall, and it saves you time and hassle. Okay, that's our whole goal. It's a balance of homeowner benefit and rep benefit. So to that end, we have an instant online credit check. So the homeowner knows right away whether or not they got approved. If they are denied, right? We all know how awkward that is and how painful that is. But if they are denied, one thing Mosaic does that's a little bit different is we send in that denial email an explanation of why they weren't approved, right? How many times have you got a denial and you immediately freak out? They told me they have a 700 credit score. They told me they make X amount a year. Well, that will explain why they were denied in the actual email. Pretty cool. Now, that being said, if they want more information, they can actually contact our underwriting team directly and get even more insight and very, very, very detailed explanations as to what happened. Okay, taking that burden off of you guys and giving them that comfort of knowing this is what happened, this is where I need to go to get approved. Now, the loan documents themselves, they're very easy to understand. So there's no ambiguity about what they're actually signing up for. And we use DocuSign. So that allows the customer to do everything electronically right there on either your device or theirs. They receive a copy as soon as they finish signing. That gives them that peace of mind of having it to review on their own time, right? Again, peace of mind, happy customers. That's what we're all about here. Now, savings, right? Probably the most important one for the homeowner. We also know here at Mosaic that people simply would not move forward with solar projects if they did not anticipate savings over time. For most homeowners, that journey begins with no money up front. In addition, though, they can expect low monthly payments, often lower than what they would pay for their utility, no reoccurring annual escalator. So the bill they pay in year 3 is the same bill they pay in year 10. And additionally, there's no prepayment penalty ever. So if they want to pay their system off early and save some money on interest, there is absolutely no harm in doing so. Okay. And lastly, we have ownership. This is owning the system. They are taking out a finance product to own this system. This is not a lease or a PPA. Okay. The homeowner, because of that, is eligible for all of those benefits, the federal ITC, right? The state benefits that are out there, local rebates, SRECs, anything and everything. If it's eligible, or if they're in an eligible area, they will be able to use those because this is not a lease or a PPA, okay? And most importantly, the homeowner can transfer the loan when they sell the house, and we make the transfer process as easy as possible. As a rep, I can actually speak to this process. It is very painless. We all know how painful buying and selling a house is, right? Well, I actually have homeowners who did this process and both parties were happy with it. How often do we get to say that, right? That both parties, the buyer and the seller, were happy. It was pretty incredible. All right. Moving on, let me get all of my little tiles up first. I like to see everything as I go. Perfect. So this is the meat and potatoes. This is our Power Switch Choice product, okay? Because of Power Switch Choice and this particular loan, we offer up to a $150,000 maximum approval amount. With that, we have a 600 FICO floor. So if you have some customers out there that maybe haven't been able to get financing in the past, this opens up a lot of opportunities for you guys. Okay, go get that business. We do not take DTI or debt to income into consideration as part of the lending decision. Mosaic, in theory, considers going solar a debt replacement because if a homeowner can afford a $150 utility bill, it's pretty likely they can afford a $130 loan payment, right? Simple math. And finally, we take the entire household's income into consideration, not just the homeowner. Okay, we'll go over that in a little more detail in just a minute, but that's a big one. STIP rates. Okay, Google wants to talk to me, apparently. Okay, cool. All right, she wants to sing me a song. Mosaic has a very low STIP rate, and with that, a fast resolution. STIP just means stipulation, of course, and really what this means is that it's very rare for you guys to ever have to provide things like income verification, IDs, titles, all of that stuff, okay? Again, time is money, and we want to make things as simple as possible for you and your customers. So our STIP rate is less than 5% across the board. All projects that come to Mosaic, we have a STIP rate of less than 5%. No other company in the industry can even touch that. And of that 5%, right, 90% get resolved in less than 10 minutes, okay? So if you do happen to get a STIP or we need to see ID, we need to see income verification, it happens, right? Just rest assured that it will be handled with you still in the home, okay? And we'll talk about how to do that, but we pride ourselves on that because we want you to be able to move your deals forward. The last thing we want to do is hold you up. Now, credit checks. We have a soft credit check. Okay, you can proudly say that when the borrower asks, because God knows they will, right? We've all heard that question. It is a soft credit check. It only turns to a hard pull at loan origination. For you guys and Powur, you guys are extra special, right? You can dust your shoulders off, extra special, because origination is installation for you. So that means, simply put, when your borrower asks, when will this show up on my credit? When does this turn into a hard credit pull? You get to say when the panels are on the roof, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner. That's a pretty cool feeling. Okay. To be technical, it's 90 days after installation or 15 days after PTO or permission to operate, whichever comes first. Okay. So just to summarize, you guys get to say this loan will not turn into a hard pull until the installation is complete. Okay. And finally, we do allow projects on secondary homes. So if you have a homeowner and you've helped their primary residents, maybe they have a vacation home or a rental property, they're just rolling in it, right? They're just loaded, right? Help them with that second home. Go get that business for the vacation home. We can absolutely help you there as well. All right. So household income. I told you we'd talk about this one. This is very, very important. So let's start on the left. You have applicant and homeowner, right? Of course, we would accept that. Non-applicant spouse or partner. Okay. We want you to include their income. Extended family, cousins, uncles, siblings, non-family residents, housemates, tenants even. If they live in the house, we want you to include their income under household income, basically maximizing your chance to get that maximum approval amount. Okay. Jumping over to the right, some things you would expect: wages and bonuses, of course, right? Pretty straightforward. Stipends, right? But there's some less common things here: rental property income, alimony, child support, right? Separate maintenance. All of those things we want you to include. Again, we want you to put everything you can into that household income tab. Okay. Include as much as you possibly can. There's no downside to doing so. It just helps you and the homeowner. Okay. Now, obviously, don't go making stuff up, guys, but if it's there and you can count it, absolutely include it. All right. Jumping forward, this slide looks way scarier than it actually is. I promise. This is a breakdown of our Powur Switch Choice loan. Okay. And it should seem familiar once you start to see how this is laid out. So for the first 18 months of our loan, we actually lower the customer's monthly payment because we are making the assumption that by month 18, they will have used that tax credit of 26% to pay down the loan, right? That sounds familiar. We've all heard that. If they do use the tax credit to pay down the loan, their monthly payment stays the same. And you can see that through the middle of the fork there, the orange line that just goes straight across. If their monthly payment was $100 and they use the full 26% tax credit to put into the loan, it's staying at $100. It's pretty simple. Now, if they pay less than 26%, maybe they needed to use that tax credit for something, right? Their monthly payment would go up, not because of penalties or higher interest. I want to make that absolutely clear, but simply because the principal balance is higher. Right? We anticipated them to use the tax credit. They didn't do so. And so now the payment is higher simply based on principal. Okay. No penalties there. Now, on the flip side of this, if they pay more than their 26%, maybe they got some state incentives, maybe they got SRECs, right? They can obviously they can put that into their loan. But if they do it before month 18, in addition to the 26%, it would actually lower their monthly payment for the remainder of the loan, saving them a lot in interest. Okay. And this is where I want to pause for a second, guys. Be the expert in the home. Okay. Be the expert. This is the kind of thing that if you do this and you show your homeowners this, it's going to genuinely shock them. They are going to be so impressed that you know your products this well, but that you also have their best interest of mind. Because, I mean, let's be honest, you get paid the exact same if they use their tax credit or not. But by you looking out for them and explaining these steps to them, happy customer. What is a happy customer going to give you? Referrals and reoccurring business. And at the end of the day, the most important thing, you're just doing the right thing. Right? You're being the expert in the home. So bottom line, at month 18, there is a reamortization or recalculation of the loan. And depending on what the homeowner chooses to do, that will determine their monthly payment after that point. Okay. Now, one last thing I want to point out on this slide before we jump forward, in the bottom left, right? In that yellow box, all the way in the bottom left under loan start. It's really hard to see, but essentially it breaks down the first payment date, right? That's a very common question you're going to get in the field if you haven't already. When is my first payment due? You can confidently say the exact same answer as the hard credit pull. This is a huge victory for you guys, okay? You can confidently say it's the same answer as the hard credit pull. It is after installation. To be exact, 90 days after installation or 15 days after permission to operate, whichever comes first. You guys can feel confident knowing that your homeowners will not have to make a payment on their loan until the panels are on the roof. Okay. For those of you who know, you know, it is a very painful process if the payments have to start coming out before the installation. It's not comfortable. Okay. So this is a huge win for you guys, especially with the panel shortage that everyone is facing. Okay. All right. Jumping forward, qualifying homeowners. Okay. Obviously they have to be on title. They have to own the home. Pretty straightforward. They must also have a personally created and active email address, simply because Mosaic mostly communicates with your borrower or your customer, our borrower, via email. Okay, so please make sure that email address is correct. If you call me and ask me to correct an email address, I will do it, but I will also roast you for it. Okay, please make sure that email address is correct. Okay, moving on, must be a US citizen. We do accept I-10 numbers for those of you who come into a situation where an I-10 is needed. Just know we have the ability to run an I-10. Me being honest with you guys, just kind of leveling with you, it is pretty difficult to get an approval through I-10. That is not a Mosaic policy. We want that business, obviously. It is simply because the credit bureaus are still working on ways and improving daily on ways to get information to us by pulling an I-10. So Equifax and Experian are getting better at it. So always try an I-10 number if that's all you have. But just know right now it is a little difficult, okay? But it is going to get significantly better, significantly sooner rather than later. All right. Moving on, they need to have personally created the credit application. All right. I'm looking straight at all of you right now. Do not fill out the forms for your borrower. Please. If I find out, we will not be friends anymore. And I want to be friends. We will not be friends anymore if I find out you're signing documents, whether it be the loan doc or the credit application for your borrower. Yes, we have ways of knowing. Please do not do it. You will be in big trouble. There is all kinds of fraud issues tied into that. All right, moving on. Let me get my titles up. Almost there, almost there. All right, qualifying sites. Okay, system must be on a residential single family home. Okay, there is a caveat there because Powur actually has extra access. For you guys, we will do duplexes up to fourplexes with the caveat that they must own the roof space where the system is placed. So if it's a duplex, they don't have to own the whole roof. They just need to own the half or we are putting the panels. Okay, pretty cool. Big victory for you guys. In addition, it has to be separately metered, right? They're obviously with the credits and how that's going to work. So make sure they own the roof and they have their own individual meter for their place. All right. Now we do not install on mobile homes that are not on a permanent foundation. So that's trailers, RVs, houseboats, camper vans. Unfortunately, those are not eligible for finance with Mosaic. In order to be, you have to be on a permanent foundation and the land that the manufactured home or mobile home is on must also be owned by the customer. Okay, pretty self-explanatory, right? They need to own the land that they're on and they can't just roll away with our product. Okay, has to be fixed. They need to own the land, but we 100% will do mobile homes if those are checked off. The install site must not be commercial, as I mentioned, has to be residential. Site cannot be off-grid. It must be grid tied. Residence must be owned by the borrower, a trust controlled by the borrower, or an LLC where they are a controlling member. A huge victory there. Okay. That has been a pain point for the finance industry for a long time. We do both a trust or an LLC as long as your borrower, who the loan is going to be named under, is a controlling member. And lastly, secondary systems must be independent of the original system. So if you're doing an add-on, right, please don't start mixing products, right? Your install team will know this. This isn't even really that important to you guys. This is more for your ops team, which they are trained on this. But the big thing to note is that the system, the new system with the new loan, has to be completely separate. It can tie into the same meter, totally fine. Just no shared panels, no shared mounting equipment or inverters or anything like that. But again, more for your ops team, and they know that. Okay, possible credit outcomes. There's only 4. You are only going to see one of these 4 when you're out in the field. First one, obviously, is the best one. Approval. Max loan amount 150. You just hit a grand slam. You're good to go. But second, conditional approval. This is a STIP. Okay. So your borrower or your customer, I keep saying borrower because I call them borrowers, your customer will receive an email letting them know what we are requesting. Okay, so you actually don't need to panic if you see this and first thing, I got to call someone. Relax, have the customer open that email and it's going to explain exactly what we're looking for. Then all they have to do is send those documents. I recommend doing this while you're either in the home with them or on the Zoom with them, right? Send those documents to our underwriting team and you're good to go. You sit back, relax, and again, in under 10 minutes, it's going to be handled. You're going to be able to sign loan docs. Okay. Now, moving on, bottom left, credit decision blocked. This is a credit freeze, right? A lot of people do this nowadays. Okay. So don't be shocked if you see this one. Don't panic. It's totally fine. It does not mean they were denied. It simply means that we weren't able to pull their credit report from Experian or Equifax. So all they need to do is contact Experian and Equifax, your customer, and simply have that freeze removed. It's totally free. Takes about 30 seconds. You're good to go. After that point, once both freezes have been removed, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to partner support. You can reach out to underwriting, pretty much anyone at Mosaic, and we'll be able to run that credit again for you and get that decision. All right. And finally, we have denial. As I mentioned earlier, though, don't let this be a total pain point for you because we send those emails that explain why they were denied. And if they want even more information, they can contact underwriting to get even more details. Okay. So we want to take that burden off you because God, I've been there and it is so uncomfortable. Okay. We will take that for you. All right. Now, this is probably the most important slide we're going to cover today. All right. So if you have been passively paying attention, no judgment. I get it. It's late, but please pay attention on this slide. This is so important. Okay. Partner support. This is who you're going to go to for your everyday question. Okay. They are the fastest to respond. They are going to answer the first time. Okay. And they can do a whole stinking lot. All right. They can get you to underwriting. They can patch you through to me. They can do pretty much everything. This should be your go-to. Okay. What is very cool about this for Powur is you can actually text that number as well. All you need to do is identify who you are, your name, identify what company you're with, Powur, and simply let, in the same text message, provide some information about your customer. So address or a name or both, ideally, would be great. But if you can provide those 3 things, basically identifying yourself and what you need help with, they will text you back right away and help you out. It's really stinking cool. And you can see the hours there. They also do English and Spanish. Okay. If you have Spanish speaking customers, don't fret. Our team can absolutely speak Spanish and help your customers out. Underwriting. We've talked a lot about underwriting. They're very, very important. This is who you're going to turn to for help regarding a credit stipulation or credit decision. If you need a STIP resolved, that email down there, underwriting-SF, underwriting-Sam Frank at Join Mosaic, SF at Join Mosaic. That is so incredibly important because that is where you're going to send any information that was requested for a stipulation. That's where you send it. And that's how it's going to get resolved very quickly. Okay. If your first instinct is to panic and start picking up the phone and making a bunch of phone calls, it's just going to take a long time. Open the email, see what is requested, send it to underwriting. You're going to be good to go. All right. Borrower support. You don't really need this one, but it's good to save so that you can provide to your customers. It's where they're going to go to ask basic questions. If they need any help whatsoever, that is their contact line. So again, not something you need, but maybe save it and hand it out to your customers if they need to. Okay. Or if you need to. And lastly, you have me, right? I'm your one-stop shop for pretty much everything. Obviously, partner support is going to be way faster. Okay. But if you need help, right? If you need to escalate an issue, maybe you talk to partner support and it wasn't clear what was needed, or the wait is usually like less than a minute, but for some reason, maybe their lines are down or whatever. You can always contact me, text me, call me anytime. A lot of you guys already have a lot of your Powur team outside of just this individual team has been contacting me, and I love helping. Okay. Now, one thing though, I'm just one person. Okay. So I can't always just answer the phone right then and there, or answer your text right then and there. Okay. Sometimes I get busy. I have a family. Sometimes I'm doing trainings like these, or I'm on the phone with another rep. Okay. I will try and communicate that with you. But if you reach out to me and you don't get an answer, just reach out to partner support, or just be patient, because I promise I will get back to you. That's especially true over the weekends. If you hit me up on a Saturday, Sunday, I know those are big days for you guys. I do not work on weekends. Okay. So if you reach out to me on the weekend, right, and it's super, super time sensitive, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. All right. But if you reach out to me over the weekend and it's not time sensitive, it's something that can wait until Monday, awesome. I 100% am going to text you, call you, email you back first thing Monday morning, and we're going to work through it. Okay. Lastly, I cannot speak to homeowners. Okay. Big rule there. And I cannot speak Spanish. All right. I said the joke earlier and I mean it. My grandma gives me enough crap about it. Please don't put me on the spot and try and have me speak Spanish to your homeowner. I'm gonna look like a damn fool. All right. Let's not do that and embarrass everybody. And lastly, we have open office hours, meaning Thursdays at 12 p.m. Pacific, I hold a Google Meet, and it's open. You can come and go as you please. I really recommend jumping into a few of these and bringing some of your opportunities that you need help with. Or maybe you thought of a really good question and you just forgot to text me or call me, and you were like, I'll just wait until Thursday. It's great. Come into the meeting. You have a link to it in your knowledge base. You'll find that link under the Mosaic page. Jump on in. It's very casual. Don't feel any kind of intimidation. I will help you through any problems that you have. All right. And we usually have either Emily, Bud, or Jen on those as well, so we can really get some work done and really find out what's going on with your projects from both the Mosaic and a Powur side. Okay. We want to get you guys paid. All right, we're about to jump into the FAQ section. Don't worry, I'm almost done. I'm going to fly through our most common ones because this may be one of yours. So let's fly through these really quick and then I'll open it up. Can a customer apply with a co-applicant, such as a spouse or relative? So at this time, no, we just do individual. But again, we want you to put all the household income into the household income tab. So we still kind of get the best of both worlds. High income for the household, and you still get to run it under one person. What happens if the borrower wants to move or refinance? We can transfer the loan, as I mentioned earlier, or if we're doing a refinance, we can actually do a temporary lien lift, right? So that they can refinance. What is the maximum loan amount? As I mentioned earlier, $150K. How many Mosaic loans can a customer have? Mosaic has a maximum of 2 loans per person. Okay, so remember, think primary residence and maybe rental property, right? And they would max out. But also we have a 2 loan per residence max. Okay, so if you do a primary system and then you do an add-on with this, that's all we can do for right now. We are working on possibly opening that up to more, but for now, try and get it right with that add-on, okay? Now, can we have more than one system on a loan? Again, no, we cannot. Separate systems. Add-ons have to be separate. right? We cannot tie it into that original system. Have a separate system, tie it into the same meter. It works for the customer the exact same. How does Mosaic Solar appear on a borrower's credit report? Like every other finance or solar finance loan, it comes up as a secured home improvement loan. Does Mosaic file a lien on the customer's house? Absolutely not. Once the panels have been installed, we will put a lien on just the equipment, okay? Not the home itself. You can confidently tell your homeowners that. If someone's credit application was denied, how long until we can try again? It's 30 days, okay? If you call me, we run credit, they fail, you go do Experian Boost or, help them through their process, we still have to wait 30 days, guys, okay? I can't move mountains in that regard. It has to be 30 days, big policy. Can I include a re-roof? Absolutely. This is a big one. I know it's a big one. I sold a lot of roofs too. The only caveat is it cannot exceed 50%. The roof cannot. So you can't have a project that's 80% roof and 20% solar. Okay. That's where we draw the line. Okay. At least 50% of your project has to be solar. Okay. So 50% of your project is solar, 50% is roof. You're good all day long. 60% is solar, 40% is roof. You're good all day long. And a huge benefit there too is batteries are considered solar. It's not a separate line item for us in that regard. Okay, so battery and solar, roof down here, we're good to go. And lastly, do we have a price per watt cap? No, we have a soft cap at $7. That just allows us to review everything. It triggers a manual review to make sure that no one is trying to finance a fence or a pool or buy a new fancy car. All right. That just allows us to manually review it. If all of the equipment is solar or roof and it's within the 50-50 guidelines that I talked about, we're good to go. You're getting approved. Even if it's $10, $12 a watt, we will not reject it for that. As long as all material is solar or roof and you maintain that over 50% of this project is solar, you're going to get approved. All right. That's a big one. All right, guys, that's all the FAQ. Let's open it up. I'm going to stop sharing so I can see everyone. All right, let me jump back.
There are a couple questions popped up. Main thing,
Good.
I mean, I guess this question kind of falls to, obviously, because we're bougie, we try to do everything through Solo. So like no one has like their own, login or anything like that with Mosaic. Totally. So you did mention, obviously, we cannot run the app for the customer. I haven't personally ran any Mosaics yet. So I don't kind of know the process, but is that kind of streamlined in the Solo proposal tool to where we can submit an app through there without us getting in trouble?
Absolutely. If you're doing that, that's totally fine. That's absolutely fine as long as you're not physically signing for the homeowner or e-signing for the homeowner. If you're putting in the information for them, that's totally fine. The big one, guys, is just let them actually be the one to put in or to click move forward or click, I accept the terms. It's pretty common sense. But yes, great point, great call out. The Solo integration is going to get better over time. Okay. I know that's kind of a little pain point recently with this launch. Don't worry, everyone. It is getting better. Solo is working with us. We are having daily meetings with Solo's IT team, and this is going to get really good, really fast. There's a lot of exciting stuff coming.
Perfect. And then I seen one with a cap for the loan by Bowen, and kind of, if you want to reiterate this, it kind of falls under the 600 credit score, the FICO, and the loan cap. Is there like because obviously the 150 is the max. Is there a minimum or a soft minimum?
A soft minimum. So it kind of fluctuates with the market. From what I've seen, we don't have like a firm, this is our lowest. It's kind of fluctuates with how the world is. Right now, I believe the minimum is 45K. Right now, the 45 range is the lowest. That's usually where it's at, but I have seen our minimum jump up to like 55 before. So it kind of just fluctuates with the market.
Okay. And with you guys approving 600s, is that if they're approved for 600, then more than likely they're approved for about a 45 or 50, somewhere on there? Or is it possible that 600 be approved for 150?
Yeah, and I know where you're going with that. I know Good Leap has those tiers, right? It's just easy to memorize. 600, you get this. 650, you get this. Yeah. We don't have tiers because we like to give the lower FICO floor individuals a chance to get those 100K loan amounts, the 150K. It can happen. Just
Gotcha.
because you have a 600 does not mean you automatically get 45K. You can actually get the full 150 because we still look at a number of other things. Okay. And we simply don't have that tiered system because we don't want to be put in a box. We want to give those people a chance.
That's good. That's good to know for sure. Okay. And I see Lolita and Terry have their hands up. Lolita, if you want to go ahead, and then Terry can go on.
Hi, Jorden.
Hi.
Hi. Hopefully you can understand me. I'm
Oh,
Australian.
for sure. No, it's all good. My best friend's Australian. You go for it.
Cool. So I ran my first Mosaic on Friday with Dana.
Okay.
So when you were talking about pre-approvals and waiting, they'll get an email stipulating why they weren't approved. My customer was approved for only a certain amount, not the full amount. So is that, would you assume that it's because they're not making enough or they're not enough income? Do you run it again? Like, do we make them feel even more embarrassed and say, you'll have an email to stipulate why you were denied the full amount? The amount was for 83 and he was only approved for 55.
Got it. Excellent question. We don't share an email form because we want it to make it seem as positive as possible why they weren't approved for the max amount. Because honestly, the borrower, the homeowner, doesn't know what the max amount is unless they're approved for it. So we don't want to say, oh, damn, you only got 55, you suck. That's just, it's all about phrasing. We want to say, congratulations, you got 55. Now, in your situation, that is a scenario where you can have the borrower. You guys cannot do it yourselves because it's private information, but maybe they can use your phone or whatever, but call into underwriting and say, hey, can you explain, why I was only given 55? It's my understanding there's a higher loan amount and I've got pretty good credit history. Can you help me understand what's going on? And they will actually dive into it. They will say, hey, totally understandable. This is what your score was. It was X. And this is what's really docking you. We see a history of delinquent payments coming from Equifax. Equifax has that on the report to us. So there's a bunch of things that could culminate into that, or that will culminate into that decision. And underwriting is your go-to for that. Now, I know your first instinct is going to be, I want to call Jorden because I know he's going to answer. I get it. But unfortunately, with private information and stuff like that, guys, I can't. No matter how much I want to, I cannot share why someone was denied or why someone was approved for a certain amount. They will have to speak to our underwriting team directly, and then they're going to get all the information they want.
And if they want to proceed, they can. I mean, they know the information. We don't have to dig anymore.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no, great question.
And Terry, go ahead.
Hi there. Nice to meet you, Jorden.
Hey.
Quick question. So when I'm pitching, almost every single one of them is virtual.
Right.
So how do we run credit with a virtual? I know Anthony was asking, but I wasn't following because I hit to qualify. And then I'm the one that would have to fill it out if they're at home and I'm over here. So what do I do?
So this is one of those cases where you didn't just say that out loud. My ears were closed. Everything is totally fine. As long as you're not signing loan docs. I mean, I know this meeting is being recorded and it's probably going to get blasted.
We can cut out that part.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing here, guys, is we just don't want you actually signing loan docs for people. That's the big one.
Right.
I understand with solo, it's kind of limited right now. We obviously are okay with the system as it is. So great call out. I haven't actually gotten a walkthrough of solo with Powur yet. I've seen solo, but not your version of solo. So I'm glad you pointed that out. In that scenario, it's totally fine. It's totally fine as long as your homeowner is the one actually filling out the loan docs themselves.
Okay, they are. Yes. Okay, great. Yay. And then I think you answered my other question was that I had a customer that had 640. And so they were like, Mosaic. Yeah. And then they failed. So, so we're going to retry. They got the email. They're going to retry. But is there something that I should be asking that I didn't ask because I thought 640, that's way above the 600. Is there something should I say anything or just let it run and then be shocked if they don't pass?
It's kind of a tough one. And in my, I mean, because again, I've done this, I would simply phrase it as, hey, look, we're going to try it again and fingers crossed, right? Exciting times. But just so you know, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, because in their mind, right, they're thinking, I was denied, my score needs to be higher, right? It's very simple. It's a simple problem.
Yeah.
There's a solution. But
Yeah.
we know as the experts, there's a little bit more to it. And so in this scenario, be delicate, but you can share that and simply say, look, it is a little bit more than just your score, right? There's a lot of things that go into a credit report. We're going to try and get you approved, but don't worry if we are denied. We're going to get on the phone with Mosaic and see exactly what needs to be fixed. Because like my golden phrase when I was in the field, anytime I got a denial was, this is not a permanent no. This is a small hurdle. We're going to get you going solar. It's just a matter of when.
Okay.
And so if you can just give them that peace of mind and just phrase it carefully, you're going to be golden.
Okay. All right. And then one more thing. I'm so sorry. So
No.
that 150,000, if I
Yes.
have a customer that has 2 meters on the property with 2 houses. So if he gets Mosaic, that 150,000, that's split between the 2 houses. It's not 150, right? It would be a grand total of 150 for both.
We could do either. If I'm understanding you correctly, and he has 2 meters and it's on 2 different properties, correct? Two different properties with.
Yeah, well,
Or is
he
it
owns
like
the
a
whole thing.
barn or
Yes.
something?
Yeah. So one is a guest house and one is his house. And so he's got 2 meters on his property. He was thinking of solar for both. I don't think we will go over the 150, but if we did, is that like we could get 200,000, 150 here and then another 50,000 here, or?
Correct. You've got it. Yeah.
Wow.
150 would be per project. Now we would consider each one 2 different projects. So that plays into your benefit because you can do the main home, for example, for 150K, right? And then his side house, his extra house, obviously isn't going to need 150K. It's probably going to need much smaller, but you can apply for a second loan and he could get approved for up to another 150.
Okay, got it. All right. Will it affect his credit if we do the first house and he applies and he gets it? Did that lower his credit score for the second one or no, because it's a soft check?
It's a soft check. It will turn to a hard origination again after installation. So it will show up on his credit history. However, it's just like anything. It's like taking out a credit card, buying a house. Once you make a couple payments that are positive, now your score is higher than it was previously. So if anything, it's probably going to help him out.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, no, excellent questions. No problem. We got a lot of raised.
Yeah, I see Rich has his hand up right now. Go ahead, brother.
Hey, Anthony, you might be able to help me with this one as well. So like on my loan, we did my loan because of the warranty on the battery. Do you guys offer the warranty on the battery as well?
Like a secondary warranty that we would offer? Is that what you're asking? To extend the warranty on the battery? Unfortunately, we don't. Unfortunately, well, I can't say we don't. Mosaic offers it. It is something that at this time, Powur, the leadership at Powur and Mosaic have not fully agreed on yet. That is something that has been negotiated. Could come down the line, but for now, unfortunately not.
It's not a hard no.
It's not a hard no. It's just a hurdle. We'll get you.
Yep.
Okay. Because I gotta get re-roof on my home with my project, and that's why I'm looking, because we went through someone, but yeah, that kind of answers my question.
Yeah, and if you want to talk offline about that one and kind of give me more details, there might be something we can do. We can take that on offline. If you want to reach out to me, we can kind of hash that one out. I want to see.
Yeah,
I want to get the
that's no
whole
problem.
story before I just tell you flat out no.
Okay. Yeah, no
All
problem.
right. Cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, go ahead, Oscar. I see you got your hand up, brother.
Guys, how's it going? So I have a quick question. I did a couple of deals through Mosaic about a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And or we had to have our like a whole different login, like a portal and stuff like that. With Powur solo platform, do we have to have another account? Because I'm running out of emails.
Excellent question, Oscar. This is actually one that benefits the whole class to know. Kind of back to the leadership thing with Powur. It's my understanding as well that you guys don't do logins for even other lenders, and it's going to be the same with Mosaic. There's no extra login that you have to worry about. We do have our portal, right? That's what we use. Like when you call me and ask for help, that's what I'm going to jump into. Or if you called Emily Budd or Jen, that's what they're going to look at. But for you guys, you don't have to worry about it. If you need any kind of view into it, just reach out to me. That's a great example of a time you'd reach out to me and I could help you out.
That's awesome. That's one hoop less that we have to go through.
Right? Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I'm trying to get everything nice and streamlined and nice and pretty for everyone.
Hey, I get it, man. I get it.
Yeah, for sure, for
we got
sure.
a couple more. Miss Highland, do you have another question or is your hand still up?
Oh, no, our hand's still up. I had a couple of other things I can chime in if no one else has any questions. But so the back to the kind of max price per watt with it being 7, is that so you can do 7 for solar and battery, and then let's say with a roof it's 14 as kind of the soft max per watt, I guess you can say.
I wouldn't get into yeah, you're going to end up tripping yourself. I see where you're going with that. I wouldn't worry about price per watt when it comes to the roof and everything like that, trying to hit that 50-50, because you're just going to cross your wires. The big thing to note is there is no price per watt cap. Okay. Just check that off right now. No price per watt cap. The other part of it, just take it as a full loan amount. Let's say for simplicity purposes, it's a $100,000 total project. If 50,000 of that is roof and 50,000 of that is solar and battery, we're good to go. You're getting approved. Okay. Because it's 50-50.
Yeah.
Now, if 80,000 of that project is roof, be a huge roof, but 80,000 of that is roof and only 20,000 is solar, that's not 50-50. That's not okay. And that's where we're going to start to have problems. Okay. So don't necessarily think about it in the dollar per cap. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? It's just going to
that makes sense.
You guys. Yeah, just look at overall price and make sure that that roof is under 50% and you're going to be fine.
Yeah, because I'm working on a deal right now. It's a smaller set. Well, it's not small. It's like a 7 or 8 kilowatt with 20 kilowatt in battery, and then it's like a $30,000 roof, and so it's just kind of a little all over the place. But just if it's 50-50 you're talking about,
I think you're going to be fine, because just based on batteries alone, 20 kilowatts of batteries alone,
it's like 25 grand.
Yeah, exactly. And then you add any solar on that, and you're over the 50-50. So that's going to get approved all day.
Okay, cool. That's good to know. And I don't want to call out any other lenders, but there's this one lender that talked himself up and blah, 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 and had all these promises, and some of the reps on this call know who I'm talking about. And you just cannot get a hold of this gentleman. They even hired another, I guess RSM or whatever you want to call it. So they have 2 people, and literally neither of them answer phone, text, email, nothing. And it's one thing, like, guys, just a heads up, if Jorden doesn't answer the phone or text or email, do not take that offensively. Don't take it personally. He's busy, just don't take that personally. But will you respond, let's say a day, Tracy's laughing. Will you respond, a day or 2 when you do have time? Are you good at that? Not to put you on the spot, but because we'll literally send emails about a 50 kilowatt system with 50 kilowatt in battery, $200,000 loan, and no one's responding. It's like, dude, like,
that is fireable at Mosaic. We don't roll that way. We don't roll that way at all. And that's why they hired me, because I'm used to this. We all know what it's like, right? When we have homeowners, you're on the clock 24/7. If they call you in the middle of the night, you better get your ass up and answer that phone, or get them in the first thing in the morning, right? It's the same way here. You guys are my customers in that regard. Okay.
Exactly. So thank you.
That's how I view it. And so if you guys call me, it's no different than when I was in the field and you're, a homeowner's calling me. I'm getting on the horn and I'm talking to you. Now, again, I live in Colorado. I like to go ski. I like to go play disc golf or tennis or whatever. I like to be outside. If I don't have my phone on me, right, and I don't answer you right away, the first thing I do whenever I get done, whatever it is I'm doing at the gym or whatever, I'm looking at my phone. And if I see you text or you called me, I'm going to text or call you back and let you know, hey, I'm at the gym. Give me 5 minutes. I'll be back home. Or, hey, I'm out for the rest of the day. Can you reach out to partner support, or is it urgent? I can try and get back on. I communicate with you guys. Okay. Like, for example, someone texted me while I was in this and I said, hey, I'm in a training. Can I reach out to you in just a little bit? And they said, it's not important. We can talk tomorrow.
Perfect.
So, I mean, that's how I like to roll, guys, because I know how frustrating it is. God,
Yeah.
I know how frustrating it is.
Yeah, even a response a day or two
It's,
later, hey, sorry, blah, 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 right?
That's
I
your
mean,
money on the line, and you guys have a lot of money
100%.
on the line. And I know how frustrating it is when you guys cannot get answers, because you're trying to relay, most of the time you're trying to relay information to your customers, and it makes you guys look bad if you can't respond. So I understand that, but also at the end of the day, I'm holding up your project if I can't answer the phone. So I get that.
Cool. No, okay, I appreciate that. And then just a little rant about the payment start date. So that is huge, because if you guys don't know how most lenders are, they'll actually give like a payment start date in the contract, to where if you're dealing with a certain utility or a certain county that just takes 3-4 months for permits to be approved, yeah, your customers' payments are starting regardless, right? And the way they see it is, hey, if you bought a house, it's not our fault if you don't move in yet. Your payments still start on day X. So for you guys to kind of have that flexibility of starting 90 days after install or 15 days after PTO, it's huge, because then there's a really good chance that your customer won't be paying for a system that's either not installed or not on.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen all the time, but it has happened, and it won't not happen, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. It used to be 60 days for pretty much every lender. It used to be 60 days after loan docs are signed. Now think about that. Think about your timelines, guys. That's crazy. 60 days for them to start having to pay. That means you got to be installed in 2 months.
Yep.
That's just not realistic anymore. And
Yep.
Obviously we can. There are certain situations where we get installs really quick, but for the most part, with panel shortages or just backed up operation teams, 2 months is probably a bit ambitious. So it's just extra ace in your sleeve, right? That you guys get that 90 days. And I will also say, not every company gets that perk. So if you are bidding, pretty nice win, guys. Pretty nice win. Let's keep that one between us, but that's a huge win for you guys.
And we're gonna rub it in everyone's face.
Good. Shout from the mountaintops. Jordan said, hey, that guy said that. Hey, Jordan's telling people stuff.
Exactly. Anyone else have any questions? I know I got to take off, but you guys can definitely stay on.
Tracy asked one last question. So is there a training that I have to do? How do I start this in the morning? I have one that is eager with a 649 credit score. So you don't have to do a training. It is not mandatory. We have in the knowledge base, like we have learning modules, we have cheat sheets, we have some really great information that every single one of you needs to go look at. It's awesome, but it is not required to do any kind of training, Tracy. But as far as how you do this, that might be more of a question for Anthony if you've maybe already run credit or something. But I would think you just you run it as normal. It should be your option at the end when you get to solo and you get to the real meat and potatoes and it's time to run credit. You'll see Mosaic as an option.
Yeah, it should already be in the portal and the proposal tool. If not, just request a revision so that it's updated, because Mosaic should be on every proposal now.
And if you have any issues, Tracy, don't hesitate to call me. Even if it's something solo related that I may not be fully privy to, I can still, connect you with the right people, or I can go get answers and then relay it back to you. Okay. So even if it's solo related, I can do my best and help you get that deal moving. You got it.
I have a question. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. I got a question. Did I hear that you said that you won't be on the solo platform? You won't, how we have the other financing companies right there on the solo platform? Will you guys eventually be on that platform where we can just click on Mosaic and and get interest rates and all that kind of stuff?
We are on that platform.
Well,
We
you're
are.
already there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, well, that's great. Okay, so we'll be able to get on there and see how many different interest rates you have and all this kind of stuff as well.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, great. So what about broker fees? Are you guys broker fees about the same as the
From my understanding, and Anthony, you may know better than me because I don't know what your competitors are at, but from what I've heard, I've actually talked to the Rusano brothers. They love calling me. And they have both said that we are lower as far as dealer fees goes. Now, is that across the board? I have no clue, but they seem to think that we are lower and they're really freaking excited. So they won't stop calling me. The two twins, y'all know who I'm talking about? Rusano.
right?
Bernasso, there you go. Those two. Good Lord. They're a hoot. But yeah, they seem to think that we're
Okay, because what we can do right now, we can like click on Good Leap or whatever, and we can look at their rates, and then we can go into the pricing and we can see the broker fees. So if we click on Mosaic, we could probably go into there and see the same, with the exact same system, and see what you guys' fee are. So if you're saying that is there, I'll be really, really looking forward into going and playing around with that and see how competitive you guys are.
To my knowledge, it does break it down and it does give you the broker fees and dealer fees and all that good stuff.
Right.
If it's not, Alan, that is something I need to know. So please let me know if you start getting in there and playing with it and you see that we don't have that listed, please let me know. I know Emily and Jen and Jonathan, even whenever the negotiations were happening, wanted to kind of keep dealer fees out of the equation. They wanted to not have that visible to you guys, but I don't know how far that went. From my understanding, in Solo, it is listed.
It is listed on all of the other, Sunlight, all of them, so
perfect. From my understanding, we are as well. So please just let me know if we're not, but we should be there.
Okay. Because the more competitive this market that is really, really becoming relevant. These dealer fees, especially when you're running into other companies that some don't even have dealer fees, with credit unions and things like that. So it is going to be very, very important going forward.
Heck yeah. Every dollar counts, man. I get it. I get it.
Okay.
Tom Griffith from Dallas, Texas. I moved from Dallas not too long ago up here to Denver. So shout out to Dallas. Pretty cool. Thanks, Tom. But yeah, what else we got? Anyone else? Fire away. Pick my brain.
I had one more question.
Yeah.
Someone brought this up on a Mentor Monday, but how do you see, kind of with everything that's going on with the interest rates right now with the banks and all that jazz, how do you see you guys being affected?
Excellent question. Very big question. Trying to think of a diplomatic way to say this.
We can stop recording if you don't want to be diplomatic.
No, it's all good. Just know that it is something, obviously, this is our life. This is our livelihood, is finance rates and getting and securing money at the lowest possible rates to be able to offer it to you guys. That is our life. It's just like you guys securing solar panels. And so just like you guys are fighting the good fight and getting solar panels at good rates and acquiring a large sum of them so you can do your projects, we're doing the same thing with interest rates. So it is something that we are fighting for daily. We, from my understanding, nothing I can share, but are looking really good. Not just through the end of this year, but through the end of next year, which is very exciting. Our finance team has shared quite a few details, quite a few specifics with us, and they seemed very confident, and they have never let me down before. They told me we were going to be able to offer you the rates that we're offering you. I didn't believe them, and here we are. So I truly do trust these guys, and I trust our CFO and our amazing team that's getting these rates. So I think we're sitting really, really, really pretty.
I got a question. The cash price of a system has to be at least 45,000. Is that correct? Before you'll take it?
No, sir. Our minimum is 10,000.
I thought you said 45. I'm sorry.
45 for approval. So like your lowest absolute, someone just scrapes by to get approval, like the very minimum, the minimum they're going to get approved for is 45. But the smallest system we will actually finance is 10,000. Does
There
that
we
make
go.
sense?
That helps.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, sorry about the mix up there.
That was
It's two
probably
different-
just me, but that's good to know. Thank you.
No, you're good to go, man. You're good to go. That was my mistake for not clarifying. We had two different avenues there, but yeah, 10,000 is our minimum system.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll chime in again, but and from a financing standpoint, and I feel obviously I understand it and know the answer to this question, but let's say you had a customer and, you know, it's a $40,000 loan or whatever, after the tax credit, it's 30 or so, 31, 32. And then their monthly payment is X amount, right?
Okay.
Which we understand that the monthly payment will be more than their net financed amount at the end of the 25 years. But when a customer says, oh, well, when I add this $115 payment times 12 times 25 or times 20 or whatever, it comes out more to the net price. What's your, from a finance point of view, what's your answer to that?
If a customer has any kind of concerns about that, and now it's kind of a different scenario. I don't want to step on any Powur toes here whenever, because I know you guys have your own talk tracks when it comes to dealer fees. I was very open about them. I made it very clear that if you want a certain rate from a mortgage company, what do you have to do? You have to buy that rate, right? They're not going to just give you money for free. And it's the same thing with solar finance. It's business. It's not that the solar company is taking that money and running with it. It's that we are securing that money for you, Mr. Homeowner. And there's so many benefits to doing so, because even with interest, even with the 25 years, I would then kind of pull it back to, if I killed the bill well enough, I would then pull it back to the electric bill conversation. And if I don't want to seem cocky at all, because I'm not that person. But if I got to that point where we're talking about dealer fees and someone is concerned about a monthly payment, and they're concerned about the loan structure, and they're concerned about those details and not concerned about what I'm saving them from, then I need to step back, because I didn't do my job right. So it's kind of a double-edged sword there. If you do the right stuff on the front end, it's going to make it an easier conversation at the end, right? I'm not dismissing it, but when you get to the end, explain that there are dealer fees, of course, involved. That's what interest rates are there for. And there's other fees, associated as well when it comes to finance companies, just like anything else in the finance world.
Gotcha. Good answer.
Sorry, didn't want to seem like too aggressive or cocky there when I was talking, but I genuinely mean it. That's my one tip. If anything, get referrals, right? That'll help your business, but also kill the bill. Someone was talking about it before I even started presenting. If you kill the bill well enough at the beginning, a lot of these issues are going to fall down. They're going to be much smaller dominoes that you get to knock over at the end of the presentation.